The ability to read is as important today as it ever was. Some people believe that the need for good basic skills has lessened as technology has improved, that television, with all its power and indeed its role in providing information, has reduced the need for reading. Certainly, there are many people who don't buy books for pleasure and enjoyment, and some who rarely read the newspaper or visit a library. In this video, we shall teach you the techniques on how you can improve your reading skills. The first thing to discuss is context clues. Now, what are context clues? Context clues are supplementary sentences or phrases that book writers use to help the readers understand the meaning of a new word. Meaning, they are clues that authors gives to the reader whenever they are using a difficult word. Now, there are four types of context clues. These are example context clues, synonyms and definition context clues, antonyms and contrasts context clues, and experience or sense of the sentence context clues. In example context clues, the author tries to show what a word means by using clues or illustrations. A writer may give just one example or several. Remember that these examples are not synonyms. Look for words or phrases such as, including, or consist of. Colons and dashes can also signal examples. Synonyms and definition gives a text that is synonymous to the unknown word to signal meaning of the unfamiliar word. Here are some examples. Antonyms and contrasts provide the opposite of the difficult word, providing a contrast which could give the idea to the reader what the difficult word meant. Here are some examples. And last but not the least, the experience or sense of the sentence. These types of context clues provide the full sentence in order for the reader to understand what the difficult word means. For example, looking for context clues are important when trying to understand the content of the book you are reading. But it is also important to know what reading techniques you're using when browsing books or reading newspapers. There are two types of reading techniques for fast reading. The first one is skimming. Skimming refers to the process of reading only main ideas within a passage to get an overall impression of the content of a reading selection. With skimming, your overall understanding is reduced because you don't read everything. You read only what is important to your purpose. Skimming takes place while reading and allows you to look for details in addition to the main ideas. So how do we skim? The first thing that we need to do is to read the title. Next would be read the introduction or the first paragraph. After that, read the first sentence of every other paragraph. Next would be read any headings and subheadings. Don't forget to notice any pictures, charts, or graphs. Also, notice any italicized or bold-faced words or phrases. And last, read the summary or last paragraph. The second reading technique is scanning. Scanning is a reading technique to be used when you want to find specific information quickly. In scanning, you have a question in your mind and you read a passage only to find the answer, ignoring unrelated information. So how do we scan? The first thing is to state the specific information you are looking for. Next is to try to anticipate how the answer will appear and what clues you might use to help you locate the answer. For example, if you are looking for a certain date, you would quickly read the paragraph looking only for numbers. Next would be use headings and any other aids that will help you identify which sections might contain the information you are looking for. And lastly, Selectively read and skip through sections of the passage. Now that we know the two reading techniques and its importance for acquiring information faster, we also must learn how to read to comprehend the content. The first thing that you need to do is build background knowledge. This includes drawing on your existing knowledge, building on your background knowledge, taking yourself into a tour of the text, meaning looking at the table of contents and glossary and understand how these elements can be helpful in understanding the book. Use a picture walk. Use other peripherals such as videos and photographs to understand the content. Use outlines to scaffold comprehension. After building a background knowledge, the next thing would be learning vocabulary explicitly. You need to focus on key vocabulary. Choose the vocabulary that you need to know in order to support your reading development and content area learning. Use a picture walk for vocabulary. Once you know new words definition, connect those new words to the pictures you see in the text. Teach yourself to actively engage in vocabulary. Teach yourself to underline, highlight, make notes, and list unknown vocabulary words as you read. Practice with new words. Ensure that you can define a word. Recognize when to use that word. Understand multiple meanings and decode and spell that word. The last thing would be to incorporate new words into discussions and activities. For you to really know a word, you must use it or you will lose it. Use the new words in class discussions or outside of class in other contexts such as field trips. Now that you know how to find context clues, skim and scan texts, and comprehend the content of a book, the last thing you need to learn is to draw inferences and make conclusions. Drawing conclusions refers to information that is implied or inferred. This means that the information is never clearly stated. Writers often tell you more than they say directly. They give you hints and clues that help you read between the lines. Using these clues to give you a deeper understanding of your reading is called inferring. When you infer or make a college conclusion, you go beyond the surface details to see other meanings that the details suggest or imply. Meaning, making a conclusion provides assurance that you fully understand the meaning of the content. Well, that would be it for the video. Thanks for watching.
Created using Powtoon.